Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome to the course of Development Planning and Administration, MPA 403. Today is lecture number 21 and I'm your facilitator, Professor Dr. Muhammad Majid Mahmood Pagram. So as you know that before discussing our today's topic of discussion, let's have a brief review and reflection of our previous lecture on organization development and how it relates to development planning and administration. Okay, organization development se kya murad hai? What comes in your mind? Organization development means that we want to improve the overall efficiency and effectiveness of the organization. Now how we do that? With the help of course, certain techniques. So, किन areas को हम improve करने की बात करते हैं in organization development? Like for example, we want to change the beliefs of employees. We want to change the attitude and behavior of employees. We want to bring positive changes in the work environments. We want to bring positive changes in the culture of an organization. So, जब हम बात करते हैं organization development की, so it focuses on the root causes of the problems, that what are the problems, what are the symptoms and what are its root causes. So with the help of strong organization development, we try to find out the root causes and then we diagnose and we focus with the help of action research to solve those identified root causes, and of course we move towards better enhanced efficiency and effectiveness of individuals, groups and of course organizations. So let's now move towards today's topic of discussion, and that is about organizational change in development planning and administration. Now, what is organizational change? The process by which organizations redesign their structures and cultures to move from their present state to some desired future state to increase their effectiveness. Now, organization change में हम क्या करते हैं? We redesign the structure and cultures of organizations. Now, what do we mean by structure? Now, structure means the organogram. Structure means the rules and regulations of an organization, how they perform different activities. And the culture means the persons who are working in that organization, what sort of cultures do they have? Is it highly supportive culture, or on the other side, is it not a highly supportive culture? So with the help of organizational change, what we do is we redesign the structures and cultures, and then the purpose is to improve the overall effectiveness of the organization. Like for example, there are many issues when we talk about the public sector of developing countries, when we talk about their structures. Like for example, when we talk about the rules and regulations, so are the existing rules and regulations in the public sector, they are in alignment with the ground reality? Like what about the reporting relationships? What about the long hierarchies? Somebody asked me one day, what is the difference between public sector and private sector in like one sentence or 2 words or 3 words? I said response time. In private sector, it is much quicker response time as compared to public sector, where there is a long delay in responses. Now, there is nothing wrong with the employees who are working in public sector. The problem, the issue or the challenge is with the existing structure. And then talking about the culture, of course, some organizations, they have high coordination and high cooperation. We have seen some cultures where there is a strong supportive environment. Employees are helping each other, they are in high coordination and high cooperation with each other, and they are like working as a team, as a group, so things like that. And we have also seen many cultures where there is leg pulling, and the blame game is going on, and nobody's taking responsibility, things like that. So with the help of organizational change, we want to ensure that we move from like the poor performance oriented cultures and poor performance oriented organizations towards high performance cultures, and towards positive structure of an organization. And organizational change can help us do that. Now, talking about different categories of change, there are two major categories: evolutionary change and revolutionary change. Let us discuss these changes one by one. Evolutionary change means that change that is gradual, incremental, and narrowly focused. Now, evolutionary change is, of course, that is gradual, so it is a slow change, incremental and narrowly focused, whereas revolutionary change is change that is rapid, dramatic, and broadly focused. Now this is really very important. So which is better, evolutionary or revolutionary change? First, I think comment I will give here that it also depends on the situation. In some situations, evolutionary change is highly recommended. In some other situations, maybe revolutionary change can deliver better results. Now, talking further about evolutionary change, socio-technical systems theory की जब हम बात करते हैं, it says that when managers change task and role relationships, they must recognize the need to gradually adjust the technical and social systems so that group norms and cohesiveness are not disrupted. Now this is really very important कि जब आप ग्रुप्स नॉर्म्स की बात कर रहे हैं, ग्रुप डायनामिक्स की बात कर रहे हैं, तो जब उसके अंदर आप चेंजेस लेके आते हैं तो उसके अंदर आप ये देख लें कि ग्रुप नॉर्म्स एंड कोहेसिवनेस जो हैं, दे शुड नॉट बी डिसरप्टेड, अदरवाइज यू विल नॉट बी एबल टू अचीव योर डिजायर्ड गोल्स. Talking about total quality management, it is an ongoing and constant effort by all of an organization functions to find new ways to improve the quality of the organization's goods and services. So organization की overall जितनी भी उसकी goods हैं, उसकी services हैं, उसकी overall जब quality enhancement की, quality improvement की आप बात करते हैं, तो that is called the concept of total quality management, and these are two of the examples of evolutionary changes. Now talking about the revolutionary change, re-engineering involves the fundamental rethinking and radical redesign of business processes to achieve dramatic improvements. Now आप यहाँ पे क्या करते हैं कि री-इंजीनियरिंग करते हैं, फंडामेंटल रीथिंकिंग करते हैं, और आप रीडिजाइन करते हैं बिजनेस प्रोसेसेस को, एंड दैट इज समथिंग विच इज ड्रामेटिक एंड दैट इज समथिंग विच इज रेडिकल. रीस्ट्रक्चरिंग इन्वॉल्व्स एलिमिनेटिंग डिपार्टमेंट्स and downsizing by getting rid of employees to lower operating costs. Now रीस्ट्रक्चरिंग की जब हम बात करते हैं, जब हम रेवोल्यूशनरी चेंज के अंदर हम बात करते हैं, तो इसके अंदर यू टॉक अबाउट you go for downsizing. Now what is downsizing? Downsizing means that you decrease the number of employees working in your organization. So that's a big challenge, because when you start doing that downsizing, there is a negative impact on those employees who are called the survivors. Like for example, अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के अंदर आपने कुछ लोगों को डाउनसाइजिंग में आपने उनको अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन से सेपरेट किया, तो देन जो लोग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के साथ जो इस वक्त काम कर रहे हैं, there is a negative consequence on those employees who are working with the organization, the remaining employees, and we call them survivors. So it is a big challenge these days, क्योंकि जब हम बात करते हैं at present कि there are many organizations who are moving through the process of restructuring, and that involves like downsizing. So it's a big challenge to even the change agents and the leaders who are responsible to conduct this activity of downsizing. So when you do that downsizing, it is not a happy news for those employees जिनको downsize किया जा रहा है, और ये it is also not a happy news for the managers जिनको ये काम दिया जा रहा है कि वो downsizing करें. But of course, when there is no other choice and organizations for their survival, and in order to reduce their operating costs, they have to go for downsizing. Innovation. So this is another revolutionary change strategy. It means that it is the successful use of skills and resources to create new technologies or new goods and services so that an organization can change and better respond to the needs of customers. Now innovation is really very important. Now innovation में आप क्या करते हैं? First of all, you need to be more creative. In order to be creative, brainstorming sessions are held in an organization. Employees, they sit together, they do that brainstorming activity. So even the most funniest or the most extremist or the most strange ideas are welcome. So none of the ideas, are rejected during brainstorming. So any unique, strange or normal or any type of idea is like given equal respect, and so that is called the creativity session. Sometimes organizations, they get help from the group of experts who sit together and then discuss and do that brainstorming and bring out the best creative ideas. So after the stage of creativity, there is, of course, it moves towards innovation. So creativity के नतीजे में जो ideas आप लेके आए हैं, उन ideas को जब आप filter करते हैं, तो filter जब आप करते हैं तो you put in some criteria, like for example practicable होना चाहिए जो creative ideas हैं, तो उसकी practicality को आप check कर रहे हैं. उसके अलावा जो creative idea है, that should be beneficial. That should be beneficial to the people, that should be beneficial to the employees, and that should be beneficial to the organization as well. तो creativity आपने की, new ideas आप लेके आए, उन new ideas को आपने filter किया, और जो ideas आपके practicable हैं, beneficial हैं, those ideas move towards the innovation. So जब आप revolutionary change की बात करते हैं, you talk about re-engineering, you talk about restructuring, and you talk about innovation. Now let's talk about people dynamics of change. Now when during a change process, these are the possible responses of people who are working in your organization. And the first thing is people feel awkward. So what you need to do is you need to provide them information. Now that information should be relevant, and that information should be in very simple manner. So if you provide complicated information, if you provide irrelevant information, that will increase the tension, or that will, give tough time to the employees. So people who are already feeling awkward, so you should try to help them instead of putting them in more trouble. So provide them with the desired information and with very clear, specific examples, so that the people can understand it easily. People first think about what they have to give up. So जब भी आप चेंज की बात करते हैं तो पीपल दे ऑलवेज थिंक कि जी अब हमें क्या गिव अप करना पड़ेगा, हमारा क्या कौन सी हमारे पास फैसिलिटी कम हो जाएगी, अभी कौन सा अख्तियार हमारा कम हो जाएगा, अभी हमें क्या क्या चीजें गिव अप करनी पड़ेंगी. So this is a normal, reaction of people during change. So you should emphasize that what will be gained. So employees जब सोच रहे हैं कि उन्हें क्या गिव अप करना पड़ेगा, तो that is the most appropriate time कि उनको immediately communicate किया जाए कि उनको क्या possible gains होंगे with the new change. People feel alone during the change process. So bring people together. You can have a get together, you can have, family gatherings, or you can have formal, informal gatherings, things like that. So bring people together, let's give them an opportunity to share their feelings, share their ideas, share their doubts. And then, of course, during those sessions, you need to provide them the required information. This will definitely improve the situation. People can only handle so much change at one time. Introduce change incrementally. So some organizations, what they do is कि वो एक immediate बहुत ज़्यादा change लेके आ जाते हैं. Like for example, एक तरफ तो आपने अपने office timings change कर लिए, दूसरी तरफ आपने person की job responsibilities change कर दी, तीसरा आपने उसकी कोई ट्रांसफर कर दी किसी और जगह पे, किसी और सीट पे आपने उसको ट्रांसफर कर दिया. तो जब 2-3 चीजें आप इकट्ठी चेंज करते हैं तो डेफिनेटली इतनी ज्यादा चेंजेस को एट वन टाइम जो एम्प्लॉइज हैं उनके लिए उनकी इतनी कैपेसिटी नहीं होती नॉर्मल सर्कमस्टांसेस कि वो उसको मैनेज कर सकें. सो इट इज हाईली रिकमेंडेड दैट यू शुड इंट्रोड्यूस चेंज इंक्रीमेंटली, ग्रेजुअली, स्लोली आप उसको लेके आए, वन चेंज एट अ टाइम. People are at different levels of readiness. हर एम्प्लॉय का एक कैपेसिटी है, हर एम्प्लॉय का एक स्टेमिना है, हर एम्प्लॉय की एक अपनी स्किल है, कॉम्पिटेंसी है, एबिलिटी है, हर एम्प्लॉय की एक डिफरेंट परसेप्शन है. तो ये वेरी करता है, पर्सन टू पर्सन वेरी करता है. तो यू नीड टू एक्नॉलेज द डिफरेंसेस. तो एक चीज कुछ लोगों को समझ आ जाती है जल्दी, वो उसको मैनेज कर सकते हैं. कुछ ऐसे एम्प्लॉयज हैं जो उसको उतनी जल्दी मैनेज नहीं कर सकते, उसके साथ इतनी ज़्यादा अलाइंड नहीं कर सकते अपने आप को क्विकली. सो यू नीड टू एक्नॉलेज डिफरेंसेस एंड गिव टाइम टू दोज पीपल जो थोड़ा सा उसको चेंज को ग्रेजुअली लेना चाह रहे हैं. तो अगर आप उनको इमीडिएट उनसे रिस्पॉन्सेज लेंगे तो दैट विल क्रिएट मोर प्रॉब्लम फॉर यू एज वेल. People often are concerned about resources at the beginning of change. तो लोगों को जो employees काम कर रहे हैं आपके पास, जब भी आप change लेके आते हैं तो they are highly concerned about resources कि okay अब ये change आ चुकी है, अब नए methods आ चुके हैं, नए working styles आ चुके हैं, new objectives आ चुके हैं. तो now what about resources? So you must provide information about resources. आप उनको बताएं कि कौन कौन से रिसोर्सेज आप उनको देंगे उनको फैसिलिटेट करने के लिए. तो ऑन द राइट साइड जो तमाम चीजें हमने रिकमेंडेशंस हैं, इन तमाम को एम्प्लॉयर्स ने इनको इम्प्लीमेंट करना है. सो व्हेन एवर दे ब्रिंग इन चेंजेस, अदरवाइज वो जो चेंज के नतीजे में एम्प्लॉयर या ऑर्गेनाइजेशन जो उनके टारगेट्स हैं, जो उनके डिजायर्ड ऑब्जेक्टिव्स हैं, उसको वो अचीव नहीं कर सकते जब तक कि इन राइट साइड पे जो हमने रिकमेंडेशंस दी हैं कि यू शुड प्रोवाइड इंफॉर्मेशन, यू एम्फसाइज व्हाट will be gained, bring people together, introduce change gradually, incrementally, acknowledge the people differences, and then provide information about resources during the change process. Now, what are the different organization development techniques to deal with resistance to change? Very important. Education and communication. So whenever you bring in changes, there is always resistance to change, and having a resistance to change is a natural phenomena. You know, people who think they resist. So if somebody resists change, it doesn't mean that that person is incompetent or lazy or not loyal with the organization. This is not the case. So having a resistance to change is a natural phenomena. So there are certain organization development techniques how to deal with the possible resistance to change, and the first most important technique is education and communication. Inform workers about change and how they will be affected. आप अपने एम्प्लॉइज को एजुकेट करें, उनको कम्युनिकेट करें कि क्या चेंज आप लाना चाह रहे हैं, इस चेंज की क्या शक्ल होगी, क्या आप क्या क्या तब्दीली लेके आएंगे और एम्प्लॉइज के ऊपर उनका क्या इम्पैक्ट होगा. Number second technique of organization development in order to deal with resistance to change is participation and empowerment. Involve employees in change. Very important कि जब तक आप अपने employees को participate नहीं करवाएंगे, उनको empower नहीं करवाएंगे, उनको involve नहीं करेंगे अपने साथ, they will resist more. So in order to reduce or in order to minimize resistance to change, you need to involve people with you in decision making process. So during the change of process, आप अपने employees को अपने साथ शामिल करें, and you will see that people, they start accepting change. Facilitation. Help employees with change. आप facilitate करें during चेंज प्रोसेस. आप एम्प्लॉइज को हेल्प आउट करने की कोशिश करें, क्योंकि एम्प्लॉइज जब चेंज के नतीजे में नंबर वन थिंग इज दे रेजिस्ट, और जब वो रेजिस्ट करते हैं तो सम टाइम दे फील हेल्पलेस, कि वो चाहते हैं कि अब वो काम नए तरीके से करें, नई चेंज को अडॉप्ट करें, बट सम टाइम दे फील हेल्पलेस, उनको समझ नहीं आ रही होती, सम टाइम दे आर अनसर्टन कि अब नए काम को नए तरीके से कैसे करना है. सो यू शुड फैसिलिटेट योर एम्प्लॉइज, यू शुड help your employees. Bargaining and negotiation. Very important OD technique, because win-win strategy is really very important. Give and take. So employer and the organization, they brought in new changes in the organization. So when you bring in new changes in the organization, of course, on the other side, when employees resist, what you need to do is you need to talk with them. You need to bargain. You need to negotiate. And then you need to move towards win-win strategy. So in win-win strategy आप क्या करते हैं कि एम्प्लॉइज की कुछ डिमांड्स हैं, उनके कंसर्न्स हैं, टॉप मैनेजमेंट की अपने कंसर्न्स हैं, उनकी अपनी डिमांड्स हैं, तो दोनों पार्टीज दे सिट टुगेदर, दे टॉक, दे कम्युनिकेट, दे नेगोशिएट, दे बार्गेन, एंड दे कम अप विद अ विन-विन स्ट्रेटजी कि कुछ आप मेरी बात मान लें, कुछ मैं आपकी बात मान लेता हूं, और जो चीजें आपकी जो है फ्यूचर में हम उसको कंसिडर कर सकते हैं. सो बोथ पार्टीज दे गो फॉर गिव एंड टेक, एंड दैट इज कॉल्ड विन-विन स्ट्रेटजी, एंड दैट helps a lot in dealing with resistance to change. Manipulation. Change the situation to facilitate change. Sometimes जब employee को एक बात जब आप change के बारे में communicate करते हैं तो मे बी उनको उस तरह ना समझ आए जिस तरह जो आपका पर्पस है. सो यू कैन मैनिपुलेट, आप लाइक उस चेंज प्रोसेस को या नई चेंजेस जो आप लेके आए हैं एम्प्लॉइज को आप एक डिफरेंट मैनर में बता सकते हैं, उनको एक डिफरेंट तरह आप बता सकते हैं कि दिस इज व्हाट वी वांट फ्रॉम यू, दिस इज व्हाट वी एक्सपेक्ट फ्रॉम यू. उसको मैनिपुलेट करके, उसको डिफरेंट एंगल से इंटरप्रिटेशन करके, इन सिंपल वर्ड्स, इन डिफरेंट वर्ड्स आप एम्प्लॉइज को कम्युनिकेट कर सकते हैं, या कुछ एक्टिविटीज हैं जो आप उनको परफॉर्म करके दिखा सकते हैं कि दिस इज व्हाट वी नीड फ्रॉम यू एज ए रिजल्ट ऑफ चेंज. So in this way we can manage resistance to change. And finally, coercion. Force workers to accept change. You know, some employees, आप कुछ भी कर लें, आप उनको educate करें, communicate करें, उनको involve करें, आप during change process आप उनको facilitate करें, आप उनके साथ win-win strategy करें, आप manipulate करें, you know, they don't agree. So the only choice left is you need to force them to accept change. Now, coercion is the last step before suspension or termination of employees. So, before suspending or terminating employees, I think it is highly recommended that the employer or the decision maker, they can use the coercion or OD technique in order to deal with resistance to change. Now, some other OD techniques to promote change. Counseling is one wonderful technique. It helps people understand how their perception of the situation may not be right. आप काउंसलिंग करें, उनको गाइड करें, उनको कोच करें, मेंटोरिंग करें, आप अपने एम्प्लॉइज को बताएं कि जो उनकी एक थिंकिंग है, उनकी जो परसेप्शन है चेंज के बारे में, कि ये जो नई चेंज ऑर्गेनाइजेशन लेके आई है ये शायद उनके लिए ठीक नहीं है. सो इनकी ये वाली जो परसेप्शन है, दैट परसेप्शन इज नॉट करेक्ट. तो उसके लिए आप काउंसलिंग कर सकते हैं, उनको गाइड कर सकते हैं. Another OD technique is to promote change, sensitivity training. Group members aided by a facilitator learn how others perceive them. So आप sensitivity training में employees को involve कर सकते हैं, and this will help to promote change in an organization. And then process consultation. It means that facilitator works closely with the manager on the job to help the manager improve his or her interaction with other group members. So these, you know, counseling, sensitivity training and process consultation techniques are really very important to promote the change process in any organization. Another OD technique to promote change is team building. Now, facilitator first observes the interactions of group members and then helps them become aware of ways to improve their work interactions. Okay, this is really very you know, one of the most important OD techniques, that the facilitator first observes that how the members in a group, how they interact with each other. वो एक दूसरे के साथ कैसे इंटरेक्शन करते हैं, एक दूसरे के साथ कैसे बातचीत करते हैं, एक दूसरे के साथ कैसे डील कर रहे हैं, एक दूसरे के साथ उनकी कम्युनिकेशन किस तरह की है, एथिक्स को किस तरह फॉलो किया जा रहा है, एक दूसरे को किस तरह, एक दूसरे के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू को अंडरस्टैंड करने के लिए उनका क्या तरीक़ेकार है. तो फैसिलिटेटर सबसे पहले ग्रुप मेंबर्स की जो आपस की इंटरेक्शन है उसको ऑब्जर्व करता है, और ऑब्जर्व करने के बाद हर ग्रुप मेंबर को एक इंडिविजुअली बताता है कि उसको अपनी जो ग्रुप एज ए ग्रुप मेंबर जो इंटरेक्शन है उसको इम्प्रूव करने के लिए उसको कुछ ना कुछ रेकमेंड करता है. सो दिस ओवरऑल इम्प्रूव्स द टीम बिल्डिंग. ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल कन्फ्रंटेशन मीटिंग, an organization development technique that brings together all of the managers of an organization to confront the issue of whether the organization is effectively meeting its goals. So this is another very important OD technique. And then organizational mirroring. Facilitator helps two groups explore their perceptions and relations in order to improve their work interactions. Now, इसमें आप एक किस्म का मिरर शो कर रहे हैं, like for example ग्रुप्स को, कि उनकी क्या परसेप्शंस हैं, उनके क्या रिलेशंस हैं आपस में जब वो कम्युनिकेट कर रहे हैं, एक दूसरे से इंटरेक्ट कर रहे हैं, और उसके लिए वो जो फैसिलिटेटर है उन ग्रुप्स को अपनी एक रिकमेंडेशन देता है. Now talking about organization development interventions, at individual level there are employee assistance programs, and then we have career development programs in organizations, we have organizational behavior modifications, and we have wellness programs including stress reduction. Because during change process, one of the possible results of change is that people, they go into high stress, or sometimes employees, they go into low stress. So with the help of wellness programs, the employer, they want to bring the stress level of employees to moderate level, and moderate stress is good. And then of course sexual harassment avoidance training is given. And then talking about organizational level पे आप करते हैं OD interventions, like we talk about total quality management, we have already discussed in our presentation. We go for survey feedback, like we go for attitude surveys के as a overall, जब हम तमाम employees का attitude के survey करते हैं कि overall जो employees हैं उन सब का जो majority का क्या attitude है towards the new change जो आप लेके आए हैं. Action research, employees participate in implementing changes identified as needed by a consultant. Very important. And then helping an organization learn. So these are the OD interventions when we talk about at the individual level and at the organizational level. Now what is a group? A set of two or more people who interact with each other to achieve certain goals or to meet certain needs. So this is a very comprehensive and one of the most simple definitions of a group. Now let us talk about the group stages. Now the first stage is forming. Now what do we mean by forming stage of group? This is the first stage. Group members try to get to know each other and establish a common understanding. Now group form हो रहा है. Group members जो हैं वो इकट्ठे हो रहे हैं. They are trying to understand each other और एक common understanding को develop करने की कोशिश करते हैं in the stage of group forming. Group forming के बाद the second stage of group is storming. Group is in conflict. Members resist being controlled by the group, and disagreements arise concerning leadership in the group. So storming की situation है, conflicts arise होते हैं. Like for example, employees के जो group members हैं उनके अपने अपने concerns होते हैं कि employee जब ये देखते हैं कि overall उनको group control करने की कोशिश कर रहा है, या group में कुछ leader है जो उनको control करने की कोशिश कर रहा है, या like for example मेरा अपना एक point of view है और उसी group में आप हैं और आपका एक different point of view है, तो there is a conflicting situation as well. तो एक storming की situation है. Norming, this is the third stage of group formation. Norming means that group members develop close ties and group members share a common purpose. Now एक normalization की तरफ group move कर रहा है, एक उसके अंदर एक norming की stage आ गई है और group members जो हैं वो एक दूसरे से close आ चुके हैं and they are trying to share a common purpose. And then stage number 4 of group formation is performing. Group members work toward achieving their goals. Very important. Group members अपने goals achieve करने के लिए they are working together. So that is the implementation stage. And finally adjourning. The group disbands once its goals have been achieved. Of course जब एक ग्रुप के certain goals हैं, जब वो goals achieve हो जाते हैं तो groups जो हैं वो adjourn हो जाते हैं. So these are the 5 group stages: forming, storming, norming, performing and finally adjourning. Now talking about work group types. जब हम वर्क ग्रुप्स की बात करते हैं तो वी हैव टू टाइप ऑफ वर्क ग्रुप्स, फॉर्मल वर्क ग्रुप्स एंड इनफॉर्मल वर्क ग्रुप्स. फॉर्मल वर्क ग्रुप्स में हमारे आ जाते हैं वी हैव द कमांड ग्रुप्स, वी हैव द टास्क फोर्सेस, वी हैव द टीम्स एंड वी हैव द सेल्फ मैनेज्ड वर्क टीम्स. Whereas जब हम बात करते हैं इनफॉर्मल वर्क ग्रुप्स की तो उसमें हमारे आ जाते हैं फ्रेंडशिप ग्रुप्स और इंटरेस्ट ग्रुप्स. So let's discuss all of these work group types one by one. Now talking about the types of work groups, when we talk about formal work group, a group established by management to help the organization achieve its goals. तो ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की जो मैनेजमेंट है, जो डिसीजन मेकर हैं, दे एस्टेब्लिश द फॉर्मल वर्क ग्रुप. उसको वो नोटिफाई करते हैं उसमें कि दिस इज अ ग्रुप, इसके अंदर ये मेंबर्स होंगे, उनके ये डेजिग्नेशंस होंगे. सो एक बाकायदा एक नोटिफाई किया जाता है, एक ऑर्डर इशू किया जाता है और उसको सर्कुलेट किया जाता है पूरी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में ताकि तमाम एम्प्लॉइज को पता चल जाए कि इस ग्रुप में कौन कौन मेंबर्स हैं, उनके क्या क्या डेजिग्नेशन है. तो फॉर्मली उसको आप नोटिफाई करते हैं, उसको आप सर्कुलेट करते हैं ऑफिस के अंदर, नोटिस बोर्ड्स के ऊपर उनको लगा दिया जाता है नोटिस को, ताकि एवरी एम्प्लॉय इन दी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन शुड नो कि जी हमारा कौन सा फॉर्मल ग्रुप है और उसमें कौन से एम्प्लॉयज जो हैं वो क्या हमें किस डेजिग्नेशन पे रिप्रेजेंट कर रहे हैं. देन वी हैव द इनफॉर्मल वर्क ग्रुप, अ ग्रुप दैट इमर्जेस नेचुरली when individuals perceive that membership in a group will help them achieve their goals or meet their needs. ये एक इनफॉर्मल ग्रुप है जो नेचुरली डेवलप हो जाता है, एस्टेब्लिश हो जाता है और इसके लिए कोई नोटिफिकेशन नहीं किया जाता मैनेजमेंट की तरफ से इसमें. और ये एक लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल जिन लोगों के कॉमन गोल्स होते हैं, कॉमन इंटरेस्ट होते हैं, कॉमन नीड्स होती हैं, तो वो मिलके एक ग्रुप बना लेते हैं. और ये दिस ग्रुप इज इनफॉर्मल ग्रुप क्योंकि इसमें बाकायदा कोई ऑफिस नोटिफिकेशन नहीं होता बल्कि एक नेचुरली तरीके से ये डेवलप होता है, इमर्ज होता है. Now when we talk about the types of formal groups, तो उसके अंदर हम बात करते हैं we have the command group. It consists of subordinates who report to the same supervisor. Very important कि जो एक ही सुपरवाइजर है जिसको सबऑर्डिनेट जो हैं वो उसको रिपोर्ट कर रहे हैं. दिस इज कॉल्ड कमांड ग्रुप. टास्क फोर्स, इट कंसिस्ट ऑफ पीपल हु कम टुगेदर टू अकम्प्लिश अ स्पेसिफिक गोल. कि एक कोई स्पेसिफिक गोल है, एक एक पर्टिकुलर गोल है जिसको अचीव करने के लिए पीपल who come together and then they try to achieve that specific goal. Team, it consists of people who work intensely together to achieve a common group goal. So they are working really very hard to achieve a common group goal and that is called a team. Self-managed work team consists of people who are jointly responsible for ensuring that the team accomplishes its goals and who lead themselves. So it's a self-managed work team. अब ये टीम अपने आप को खुद ही मैनेज करती है और तमाम टीम मेंबर्स जो हैं they are jointly responsible. If they are successful, it is their success of all group members and all work team members. But if there is a failure, so all the persons in that self-managed work team, so they accept that responsibility of failure. So इस ग्रुप की खास तौर पे यहाँ पे मैं बात करना चाहूँगा कि मोटिवेशन लेवल जो है इसमें बहुत ज़्यादा हाई हमें नज़र आ रहा है एम्प्लॉयज़ का who are the members of this self-managed work team. Now, talking about the types of informal work groups, the first example is of friendship group. It consists of people who enjoy each other's company and socialize with each other on and off the job. So एक फ्रेंडशिप ग्रुप आपका एक इनफॉर्मल बन जाता है. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल ये वो कॉलीग्स हैं जो जिनका आपस में एक क्लोजनेस है एंड एक लाइकिंग है उनके, एंड दे मीट ईच अदर on and off the job. Interest group. It consists of people who come together because they have a common goal or objective. So, इस तरह के ग्रुप में, इंटरेस्ट ग्रुप में, उनका कोई ना कोई इंटरेस्ट होता है, कॉमन इंटरेस्ट होता है, कॉमन गोल होता है, कॉमन ऑब्जेक्टिव होता है, जिसको अचीव करने के लिए they sit together, they come close to each other. Okay, then we talk about what is the advice to managers. When we talk about the planners and administrators, so what is the advice here? Make sure members of the groups you manage clearly understand their roles and roles relationships. This is really very important. You need to ensure that कि जो आपके जो members of the groups हैं, they clearly understand कि उनका role क्या है और उनकी role relationships क्या हैं. That should be very clear to them. Another advice to planners and administrators is make sure rules are clearly written and clearly communicated to newcomers. खास तौर पे वो लोग जो अभी न्यूकमर्स हैं, आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं, उनको इन राइटिंग और क्लियर कम्युनिकेशन उनको होनी चाहिए कि रूल्स क्या हैं हमारी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में. Ask members of the groups you manage to let you know of any changes that they think need to be made in existing roles and written rules. So feedback is really very important. So the best planners and administrators, what they do is they keep on getting continuous feedback from their employees regarding the existing roles and written rules. And of course, after getting that feedback, they incorporate changes required, and then of course they move towards enhanced performance. Now talking about leadership, leadership is defined as the exercise of influence by one member of a group or organization over other members to help the group or organization achieve its goals. तो जब हम leader की बात करते हैं, it is an individual who is able to influence group or organizational members to help the group or organization achieve its goals. So leader is a wonderful person. He is the initiator. He is a motivator. He is a guide. He is a counselor. He is a mentor. So a leader has the influencing power, to influence others. So a leader is a person who has followers. So with the help of his or her followers, leader ensures that to achieve organizational goals better than the competitors. And talking about leader effectiveness, the extent to which a leader helps a group or organization to achieve its goal is called the leader effectiveness. So the more you are able to achieve your goals, the more effective you are. And on the other side, if you do not achieve your goal as per targets, so those leaders are called not that much effective leaders. Now talking about the formal and informal leaders. Formal leaders की जब हम बात करते हैं, it is a member of an organization who is given authority to influence other organizational members to achieve organizational goals. Whereas when we talk about the informal leader, an organizational member with no formal authority to influence others, but who has special skills or talents to influence others. Now, you see that there is a major difference between formal and informal leader. So, organization ने एक person को authority दी है कि to act as a leader, तो we call that person a formal leader. Whereas कि एक person को जिसको organization ने कोई authority नहीं दी to act as a leader, that is called informal leader. So what are the approaches to understanding effective leadership? So these are the 5 approaches: trait approach, behavior approach, Fiedler's contingency model, path goal theory, and Vroom and Yetton model. So let us discuss these approaches to understanding effective leadership one by one. And the first one is called the trait approach. And these are also called the early approaches to leadership. So the trait approach seeks to identify personal characteristics that effective leaders possess. We are talking about the different traits of leaders. Like for example, you have different personal characteristics. The behavior approach focuses on the behaviors that effective leaders engage in. So ट्रेड अप्रोच में हम बात कर रहे हैं उसके पर्सनल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स की, बिहेवियर अप्रोच में हम बात कर रहे हैं कि उसके बिहेवियर की जो इफेक्टिव लीडर्स का होना चाहिए. सो ट्रेड में फॉर एग्जांपल यू टॉक अबाउट देयर कम्युनिकेशन स्किल्स, यू नो देयर पर्सनालिटी, थिंग्स लाइक दैट, वेयर एज इन बिहेवियर अप्रोच हम उसके एक्शंस की बात करते हैं, थिंग्स लाइक दैट. नाउ टॉकिंग अबाउट द फीडलर्स कॉन्टिजेंसी थ्योरी. The theory that leader effectiveness is determined by both the personal characteristics of leaders and by the situation in which leaders find themselves. Now this theory is very important when we talk about leadership because it focuses on the those special characteristics of leaders के एक leader के अपने personal कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स क्या हैं और जिस सिचुएशन में वो लीडर उन पर्सनल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स को इंप्लीमेंट करेगा वो सिचुएशन क्या है. एंड दिस थ्योरी शेड्स लाइट ऑन टू इंपॉर्टेंट इश्यूज. व्हाई इन अ पर्टिकुलर सिचुएशन सम लीडर्स विल बी इफेक्टिव एंड अदर लीडर्स विद इक्वली गुड क्रेडेंशियल्स विल बी इनइफेक्टिव, and why a particular leader may be effective in one situation but not in another situation. So this theory is really one of the most important theories when we talk about leadership. Another theory is called path goal theory. It says that a theory which describes how leaders can motivate their followers to achieve group and organizational goals and the kinds of behaviors leaders can engage in to motivate followers. Now path goal theory, as the name suggests that, it is focusing on the achievement of, group and organizational goals. So when we talk about individuals working in the organization and when we talk about the organizations, so they have certain goals. So we need to have an alignment of individual goals and organizational goals. So the more aligned those goals are, the more efficiency and effectiveness we can expect. और जितनी कम alignment होगी definitely उसमें उतने ही ज़्यादा challenges आप face करेंगे. The next is the Room and Jetten model, a model that describes the different styles in which leaders can make decisions. So these are the decision making styles. The first one is the autocratic. The leader makes the decision without input from subordinates. Now autocratic के लीडर डिसीजन ले रहा है लेकिन जो भी सबऑर्डिनेट्स हैं उनसे किसी किस्म का इनपुट नहीं लिया जा रहा. सो दैट इज अ डिसीजन टेकन बाय ओनली वन पर्सन और दैट इज व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड ऑटोक्रेटिक. कंसल्टेटिव, दिस इज अनदर डिसीजन मेकिंग स्टाइल. सबऑर्डिनेट्स हैव सम इनपुट बट द लीडर मेक्स द डिसीजन. नाउ लीडर ने इनपुट लिया है अपने सबऑर्डिनेट से लेकिन लीडर ने खुद फिर डिसीजन लिया. तो लीडर ने मशवरा ले लिया, लीडर ने कंसल्ट कर लिया अपने सबऑर्डिनेट्स को, लेकिन जो फाइनल डिसीजन है वो लीडर खुद लेता है एंड दैट इज इट इज कॉल्ड कंसल्टेटिव डिसीजन मेकिंग स्टाइल. द थर्ड इज द ग्रुप. द ग्रुप मेक्स द डिसीजन, द लीडर इज जस्ट अनदर ग्रुप मेंबर. ओके, दैट इज व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड अ ग्रुप के ओवरऑल जो ग्रुप है वो मिल के डिसीजन ले रहा है और जो लीडर है, लीडर भी इट इज ओनली वन ऑफ द ग्रुप मेंबर्स. सो लीडर आल्सो हैज वन वोट लाइक ऑल अदर ग्रुप मेंबर्स हैव. Delegated, this is another decision making style of leaders. The leader gives exclusive responsibility to subordinates. नाउ डिसीजन मेकिंग अथॉरिटी पावर जो है वो डेलीगेट की है लीडर ने यहाँ पे अपने सबऑर्डिनेट्स को कि वो खुद डिसीजन ले सकते हैं सबऑर्डिनेट्स. सो these are the 4 decision making styles of leaders: autocratic, consultative, group and delegated. जेंडर एंड लीडरशिप की जब हम बात करते हैं, सो विमेन do tend to have more democratic leadership styles, whereas men tend to be more autocratic. So this is another, point of view when we talk about male and female leaders. So what is the advice to planners and administrators after this discussion? The first thing is you need to convey your vision to your subordinates. So जो हमारे planners हैं, जो administrators हैं, they must convey their vision to their subordinates. क्योंकि जब तक अपने subordinates को अपना वो vision communicate नहीं करेंगे, उस वक्त तक it is not possible कि उनकी role clarity हो. Planners and administrators, they seek outside help if you are having trouble relating to your subordinates. Signs of trouble include frequent conflicts or disagreements, or your subordinates avoiding you, withholding information from you, or acting fearful in your presence. तो इस सूरत में आपको outside help की ज़रूरत है. You can outsource or you can get the help of consultants. Tailor your leadership behaviors to the characteristics of your subordinates and to the situation. Of course, आपको अपने subordinates की feelings का, उनकी जो attitude है, उसके behavior का, उनके culture का, उनकी dignity का, उनकी respect करनी है आपने. तो you need to tailor your leadership behavior according to your subordinates. Whenever possible, use reward behavior instead of punishing behavior. So positive motivation is highly recommended instead of negative motivation. Let your subordinates know how important the work they do is for the organization as a whole. Very important. This is, I believe, that one of the most important advice to planners and administrators, that they should help the employees realize that how important they are and how important their work is to the organization goals. Discuss with your subordinates problems you are facing and show them how these problems can be solved if everyone works to achieve your vision. Very important advice for planners and administrators. Now, talking about communication, it is the sharing of information between 2 or more individuals or groups to reach a common understanding, but not necessarily an agreement. Now, अक्सर बात की जाती है कि जी मैंने आपको कम्युनिकेट कर दिया था और आपको मेरी बात समझ आ गई थी. Now, बात समझ आना is called communication. उस बात के साथ agree या नहीं agree करना, that is something else. So when we talk about effective communication, it means that you develop an agreement with the other party or other person after communication. So forms of communication की जब हम बात करते हैं, so these are the verbal and non-verbal communication forms. The sharing of information by means of words, either spoken or written, is called verbal communication, whereas your body language and mode of dress is called the non-verbal communication. So जब हम बात करते हैं organizational culture की, the set of shared values and norms that controls organizational members' interactions with each other and with suppliers, customers and other people outside the organization, this is overall called the organizational culture. Now, talking about the values in an organization's culture, so जब हम बात करते हैं, we have the terminal values and we have the instrumental values. Now, Terminal values means that these are the desired end states or outcomes. For example, high quality and excellence की जब आप बात करते हैं, these are the terminal values of under the umbrella of organizational value. And when you talk about, like for example, being helpful and working hard, this is called instrumental values. So as a result, we move towards specific norms, rules. For example, being courteous to co-workers. So this is how we talk about organizational value in different public or private sectors. Now, talking about the culture concepts, norms are informal rules of conduct that emerge over time to regulate behaviors that are considered important in an organization. Whereas जब हम socialization की बात करते हैं, it is the process by which newcomers learn an organization's values and norms and develop the work behaviors and attitudes necessary to perform their specific organizational roles. Now, talking about the sources of values, the founder of the organization and his or her personal values and beliefs have a substantial influence on an organization's culture and the norms that develop in a company. So these are one of the sources of values. और जब हम बात करते हैं ethical values of an organization की, these are the moral values and norms that establish the appropriate way for an organization and its members to deal with each other and with those outside the organization. These are called the ethical values of an organization. Now, where does organizational culture comes from? Now, when we talk about the organizational culture, we talk about the property right system, we talk about the organizational structure, we talk about the organizational ethics, and we talk about the various characteristics of people within the organization. So, in तमाम एंगल से जो है आपका organization culture जो है वो develop हो रहा है. Now, talking about the organization development in global settings की जब हम बात करते हैं, तो we talk about the growth of organization development in global settings. So there is a rapid development of foreign economies. इस वक्त जब हम पूरी दुनिया की बात करते हैं, we call it a global village. और जब हम as a global village बात कर रहे हैं, तो definitely there is a rapid development of foreign economies. It is the survival of the fittest. Or China is almost everywhere in the world. So there are foreign economies and they are rapidly developing, and there is a tough and tight competition going on in the world. The increasing worldwide availability of resources, of course, दुनिया में communication जो है बहुत rapid हो चुकी है, बहुत fast हो चुकी है. So on the other side, जो availability of resources है, और जो resources की जब हम बात करते हैं, we talk about 4 resources: human resource, financial resource, physical resource and information resource. तो ये जो चारों resources हैं, इन चारों resources की जो worldwide availability जो है वो rapidly increase हुई है. The emergence of a global economy. Now, a global economy emerge हुई है. Now, whatever you do has an impact on others. So it also means that whatever others do, it has an impact on our organization as well. So there are almost no more monopolies. Now, talking about future directions in organization development, trends affecting organization development practice. Workforce trends इस वक्त दुनिया में क्या हैं? Workforce is becoming older, more diverse, more educated. जब हम बात करते हैं पाकिस्तान की, तो इस वक्त almost 65% of the population of Pakistan comprises of youngsters, young people. So it means that कि जो workforce इस वक्त ज़्यादातर लोग जो काम कर रहे हैं, जब हम पाकिस्तान की बात करते हैं, they are becoming older and more diverse. More diverse means that we have persons in our office from different cultures, Like we have persons from all provinces of Pakistan in our organizations. We have persons from different cultures. We have persons from different even religions working in our organization. So we have males and females working in the same organization. So there is a highly diversified workforce, and of course more educated. You know, with the passage of time, you know, the literacy rate in developing countries is increasing. And same is the case here in Pakistan, that more educated people are coming up. So these are the workforce trends, more innovation and learning oriented. Of course, जब हम कहते हैं survival of the fittest, it also means that you have to be more creative and innovative. और जब तक आप innovative नहीं होंगे, आप जब तक creative नहीं होंगे, उस वक्त तक you cannot survive in the market. So, and learning oriented organizations हैं. So we also talk about कि जी एक इस वक्त जो workforce trend है कि you know people are you know giving more importance to those organizations जहाँ पे जो learning organizations हैं, जहाँ पे वो ना सिर्फ ये कि वो they build their careers, at the same time they get the opportunity for learning. They learn new skills, they develop new competencies, abilities, they polish their existing skills, things like that. Talking about the environmental trends की जब हम बात करते हैं, wealth is becoming more stronger. And then economy is more globalized. So world is a global village, economy is more globalized. So आप अपने मुल्क में, पाकिस्तान में आप कोई भी चीज़ बनाते हैं, कोई भी प्रोडक्ट बनाते हैं, कोई भी सर्विस आप प्रोवाइड करना चाहते हैं अपने कस्टमर्स को, सो यू हैव यू नो कंपटीशन, बिकॉज यू नो in like every place of the world there is tight competition. Now, continuing our discussion on trends affecting organization development practice, now we talk about the technology trends. Now, talking about the technology trends, it includes the internet growth. Now, internet growth is, is really very fast. There is a rapid growth of internet all over the world. Now, so whenever you want to do something, you can get help from internet, and you can, get the information, things like that, quickly, within seconds. E-commerce growth. Like, for example, we talk about websites, and, there is more online business trend going on, so most of the companies, so instead of face-to-face, dealing with customers, they have, developed their websites, so they have more online customers than face-to-face customers. Rapid technological changes. Of course, technology is really changing rapidly all over the world. So there are rapid changes in the world when we talk about technology. Now, talking about organizational trends in the world, organizations will become both smaller and larger, more and less decentralized in the times to come, virtual network-based organizations, and then more cross-cultural, clearer about values. So these are the trends we see overall in the world. I hope कि आज के लेक्चर से आपने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन डेवलपमेंट को और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन डेवलपमेंट का जो रोल है इन डेवलपमेंट प्लानिंग एंड एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को आपने अंडरस्टैंड किया होगा. हमने देखा कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशन डेवलपमेंट के क्या बेनिफिट्स हैं, हाउ इट moves towards organizational change, और हमने बात की कि ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल चेंज की मदद से हम किस तरह अपनी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन को बेनिफिट दे सकते हैं, अपने एम्प्लॉयज़ को बेनिफिट्स दे सकते हैं. तो आज के लेक्चर में हमने ये भी डिस्कस किया कि जो किसी भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के जो एम्प्लॉयज़ हैं, जब आप उनके अंदर एक चेंज लेके आते हैं तो दे रेजिस्ट. तो जब हमने ऑर्गेनाइजेशन डेवलपमेंट की मुख्तलिफ टेक्निक्स को डिस्कस किया कि हाउ टू मिनिमाइज रेजिस्टेंस टू चेंज, उसको आज हमने अपने लेक्चर में डिस्कस किया. आई बिलीव डैट कि विद द हेल्प ऑफ टुडेज लेक्चर आपने बहुत लर्न किया होगा. थैंक यू वेरी मच फॉर योर काइंड अटेंशन. सी यू ऑल इन द नेक्स्ट लेक्चर. खुदा हाफिज.